Finally, I bought my new project car on autovidmaster.com after weeks of shopping, searching, bidding, and tried to win my bids on multiple cars. Finally got the one I really wanted. It's been, several weeks. The market is kind of like, it's pretty expensive lately. It's not the typical market. I had some really harsh competition. I had a few cars. I had my eye on, but there's one I finally won. I've been bidding on a bunch of Camaros, Mustang, stuff I already know and already own previously in my life. Unfortunately, the Americans across the border were bidding hard on these cars. And after weeks and weeks, I've lost always my bids. It was a little bit too expensive for me. And also, I was looking at different auction. Some of them, they were pretty far away from me. At first I was looking at some auction in the US, but crossing the borders, brokerage, just bring back the car probably from North Carolina or Florida or something like that. It was getting pretty pricey, especially with the price of gas right now. So I was looking mainly in Canada, in Montreal. After weeks and weeks, there's not a lot of choice in Montreal at the auction. Not like Toronto, Chicago, Florida. There's not a ton of cars. It's a smaller city. It's not as big as the other market, like I just said. But finally, after weeks and weeks, I was always bidding on that same car, but this car was on approval. So every time I was winning my bids on that auction, but the owner didn't approve the final price. It was kind of frustrating at first, but I've learned a lot how to process on the auction and learn the different type of sales. Some sales, they're gonna be a pure sale. Some of them, they're gonna have a reserve, and some others gonna be more on approval. And this particular car I was bidding on was on approval. So I win the auction the first week. They didn't approve my price. I won the second week. They didn't approve that price again. And on the third week, I didn't win. Someone overbid me and won the auction. And just by miracle, late at night, I received a call from AutoVid, and the actual winner of that auction couldn't give the money or didn't want to buy this car. So I kind of was the winner of that auction, and I was able to purchase the car finally. So today I'm going to show you what I bought and what I'm going to do with this project. So this project was kind of limited on the budget side. I didn't want to spend a ton of money on that project. Just something cool, something fun I can play with during the summer. And probably after, putting back this car back in shape, resell it, and probably make a nice profit out of it. So the model I bought at the auction, it's a pretty rare model. It's an Audi S6 2007. And if you don't know this car, it might look like a typical old Audi, but the surprise is under the hood. Under the hood, we can find a V10 5.2 liter, 40 valves. This engine produced 435 horsepower. Not bad for back in 2007. Yes, this is the same powertrain we can find in a Lamborghini Gallardo, Audi R8, or the new Lamborghini Huracan. Back in the day, it was a 5-liter in the Gallardo. This one was a bit bigger with more torque to carry all that weight from that big Quattro sedan. So I think it's cool to have a big sedan with a V10. I think this is truly a real sleeper. It's not super quick for today's standard, but really cool, and probably my last opportunity to own a V10 before we're gonna go all electric. So I think this is pretty cool. When I bought this car, it was a normal wear, run and drives, but still this car is in pretty good shape for an auction car. When I picked up this car, I was expecting to bring it back home on its own power because it was a run and drive, but I had a few surprises. When I picked up this car in Montreal at Copart, they boosted this car, but unfortunately there was no batteries in the trunk and the guys didn't check out. So by boosting this car without having a battery connected, it was pretty hard on the electronics. So the car went to a limp mode, and you know, some error codes pop up a lot, and I was not able to bring it back home. I had to call the towing to bring it back home. Not a big deal, but I was worried, you know, this car was not a real run and drive. It was the case, you know, but because, you know, when you're buying those older German cars with fancy engine like this one, sometimes it can be a little scary, but still, you know, I've been looking at this car with my father-in-law. We connected the computer, and we basically erased all the error codes, and now it's running great, and there's no problem with it. And soon we're gonna be able to put it on the road and put a license on it. So far, you know, engine works great, the transmission works great, and the shape is pretty good. So as you can see, I haven't washed this car yet because I want to really do a series of things I'm going to do on this car. I want to, you know, clean it up, put it back in shape, do some maintenance, maybe changing some stuff on it, do some modification to have a little bit of fun with it. As we can see, the paint is not bad. There's some small scratches all around, not a big deal, but once I'm gonna wash deeply this car, I'm gonna be able to tell if I need to bring it to the body shop. So far, not some major, you know, scratches or dent. There's a small dent here. There's some scratches on the wheels. I might change the wheels, not sure yet. In the front, obviously, this is a 2007, so there's some rock chip and some little things in the paint here, but overall, nice shape for this car. The only way we can tell it's a V10 is by this badge here on the side, in the sound of it. But this car is pretty quiet for a V10. We might have to modify the exhaust a little bit, but if you know your Audi, just by the S6 badge, you know it's a V10. You know, it's pretty cool. These cars were super expensive back in the day. Cool seats, really comfortable, nice mix of support and comfort. I really like those seats. As you can see, I've got the carbon fiber finish inside. This is really rare for these type of cars. Usually they have the wood trim inside, and I'm really glad I've got the carbon fiber. Plenty of space for the kids in the back, so I'm gonna be able to bring the baby and the girls. So, you know, I wanted to have a sport car, but when I saw this S6, I was like, you know, we can go on a road trip or a car show or something, and I'm able to bring all the family without using the big Yukon. It's kind of cool. This car is really well equipped for back in the day. There's the adaptive cruise control. There's the heated seats in the front and also in the back. Pretty rare for back in the day. GPS, all kind of stuff. I don't have the spatial, there's a spatial sunroof with solar panel on it, and once you're parked, it's gonna recirculate the air inside of your S6. I don't have it on mine. I think these kind of stuff are something's gonna drain the battery and might not hold up through the time. So obviously, you know, because there was no battery, I bought a brand new battery for this car. Nice trunk, big trunk, Yeah, as you can see, brand new battery here, so it starts really quickly, easily. It runs like a charms. I'm pretty glad. Let's just start it and rave it a little bit. Yes, we might have to you know, unleash the beast a little bit of that V10. There's a lot of potential, but budget wise there's not a lot of things we can do with that engine. Maybe a tune, maybe an exhaust, but that's pretty much it. Other than that, it's gonna be a hardcore project if I try to bring up the horsepower a little bit more. 435 horsepower, it's not bad, you know, it's plenty of horsepower. This one's a quattro. It's a pretty heavy car, but I think it's cool, you know, just having the V10. You can also find your next project, your next car on autobidmaster.com. Just use the link in my description. There's also a code that's gonna give you $50 off if you subscribe for the top 2 tiers of membership. It's really worth it. It's a lot of fun. You don't have to have like a lot of patience and find a good car, but you can find a gem like this one for a cheaper price. Obviously, you have to put some work into it. You have to love cars. You know, I'm gonna put some times into this car. I'm gonna do a series of things I'm gonna do with this car. Next episode, I'm gonna wash it deeply inside and out, the engine, everything. We're gonna do some maintenance on it. Let me know in the comments, what do you think about this new V10 project, this Audi S6? Obviously, this is a budget build. I'm not gonna spend 20 to 30 grand. It's something fun with a spatial engine, something cool. Let me know your opinion in the comments, and we're gonna see each other on the next episode.